Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on algorithm. In this video, we are going to give some examples of algorithm. So far we know that algorithm is a step-by-step sequence of logical instructions that produces output based on the given input. And we also know that an algorithm is an informal description of computer program that is written in simple English language. So before discussing some examples, let's see that there actually exist three type of programming construct that provide the protocols to help us in creating an algorithm. Now, these three type of programming construct, the first one starts with a sequence construct. A sequence construct basically tells the processor in which the statement is to be executed, which statement is to be executed next. So obviously, according to the name, the statements are executed in a sequential manner, and in a sequence construct, the program flow lines simply move from one statement to the next statement. Now, in case of decision construct, the program control will be transferred from one statement to another statement depending on whether certain conditions are met or not. So definitely there exists a condition. Depending on the conditions, the decision control will be transferred from one statement to another one. Now the last one, which is repetition construct, here the statement is executed again and again till the given conditions are met. So it makes the use of loops. A loop is used to repeat a set of statements again and again till the given condition is met. So let's see how to develop an algorithm. So to develop an algorithm, we know that an algorithm is a step-by-step process. So therefore, while writing the algorithm, each and every statement should be started with a sequence number such as step 1, step 2 and so on. We will use the start keyword to begin an algorithm and a stop keyword to end the algorithm. We have to mention each and every steps in a clearly manner. The start of each statement will be from a new line, and the most important thing is that the logic of the algorithm should be clearly defined. So now let's see some examples. In our first example, we have to develop an algorithm to add two numbers. So here is our algorithm. Obviously the algorithm is a step-by-step process, and we will start by giving a sequence number here like step 1, step 2, and at the beginning of the algorithm it starts with the keyword start. In step 2 and step 3 we are accepting two numbers, accepting the first number and accepting the second number because we have to find the addition of two numbers. So we are accepting two numbers in step 2 and step 3. In step 4 we are adding these two numbers and we are storing the value of the addition in another variable named C. And in step 5 we are printing the value that is stored in the variable C, so which is also the result of the addition that is stored in the variable C. So we are printing the value that is stored in the variable C. And in step 6, that is the end of the algorithm, so therefore we have used the keyword stop. So if we look into this example, we can see that each and every step should be clearly defined and the logic is very clear. In addition, we have to take two numbers, we have to accept two numbers. So in step 2 and 3 we have accepted two numbers, then followed by an addition, and after the addition we stored the addition result into a variable named C, and at last we have printed the value that is stored in the variable C. So in this way there is a sequence construct to write the algorithm. So in this way we will write the algorithm. Our next example, here we have to develop an algorithm to find the average of three numbers. So according to the logic, again it's a sequential construct. So first we will take three numbers, we will accept three numbers from the user. Then to find the average, first we will add these three numbers. Then we will divide the result of the addition by 3 to get the average, and finally we'll print the average value. So again it start with step 1 start, step 2 accepting the first number a and stored it in the variable a, step 3 accepting second number from the user and storing it in the variable b, step 4 we are accepting the third number and the final number and storing in the variable named c. In step 5 we are adding three numbers a plus b plus c, and obviously we are storing the result of the addition in a variable named s, and in the sixth step we are dividing the sum, the result of the addition, the value which is stored in the variable s, by 3 to get the average. And the division result, we are storing this division result to another variable named avg. So algebraically we have written this one, avg is equals to s divided by 3. So now at the second last step we are printing the value that is stored in the variable avg, that will print the average of three numbers. And the final step, step 7, that is the end of the algorithm. So we are writing the keyword stop. In step 2 and step 3, in place of accept we can also write input, and in step 6 where we are printing the variables, in place of print we can also write display. So remember one thing, that while writing the algorithm it should be like in plain and simple English languages. An algorithm should not contain any kinds of programming code. Our third example is to develop an algorithm to find the area of the rectangle. So the logic is that we have to accept the length and breadth of the rectangle. Then according to the formula we have to multiply the length and breadth to calculate the area of a rectangle. Then finally we have to print the area, the multiplication result, that is basically the area of the rectangle. So in this way we will solve the algorithm. Again it is also an example of sequence construct. So step 1 start, step 2 accepting the length L of the rectangle, so accepting the value of the rectangle and storing it in the variable named L. In the third step we are accepting the breadth of the rectangle from the user and storing it in another variable named B. In step 4 we are multiplying these numbers length and breadth, because that is the formula to find the area of a rectangle. So in step number 4 we are multiplying the numbers length and breadth, so L multiplied with the variable B, and storing the resultant value in another variable named A. So the area which is stored in the variable named A. So at last in step 5 we are printing the value stored in the variable A, and step 6 is again the stop, the end of the algorithm. In our fourth example, we have to develop an algorithm to accept the length of two different line segments, and finally we have to check whether the line segments are equal or unequal. This kind of algorithm is an example of decision construct, because we have to check a condition here, and based on the condition we have, after accepting the length of two different line segment, we have to match a condition here, and based on this criteria If they are equal, then the program will branch in a separate way, and if they are unequal, it will branch in another way. So to check the condition, we will use if then else statement. We will use if then else statement to construct these kinds of algorithm. Now step 1 is against the starting of the algorithm, the beginning of the algorithm. So we have written the keyword start. In step 2 we are accepting the length of two different line segment and storing it two different variable. The first variable named as L1, the second variable named as L2. In third step, we are comparing L1 with the value of L2. So if the value of L1 and L2, if two values are equal, if L1 and L2, if two values are equal, then it will display that the line segments are equal. Otherwise, if they are not equal, so obviously the statement inside the if operation, the statement inside the if operation, this one will not get executed. So rather than it will execute the statement, the line segments are not equal. So based on the condition is L1 and L2 whether they are equal or not. So based on the condition, there are two display segments are written here. So based on the condition, any one of this display statement will get executed. If they are equal, so obviously it will display the line segment are equal. Else means the conditions have not met, they are not equal, so it will display the line segments are not equal. Step 5 will be the end of the algorithm. So we will use the keyword stop to end to indicate the end of the algorithm. In our next example, we have to develop an algorithm to accept the age of a person and check whether the person is eligible to vote or not. The criteria is given here. A person is eligible to vote only when he or she is 18 years or more. So again, another example of decision construct, we have to check the decision whether the age of the person is greater than 18 or not. If the age of the person is greater than 18 or equals to 18, then the person is eligible to vote. Otherwise the person is not eligible to vote. So step 1 we are starting the algorithm. Step 2 we are accepting the age of the person, because to check the condition we have to first input the age of the person. So we are accepting the age of the person from the user, and we are storing the age in the variable name age. And in step 3 we are checking if the variable, if the value which holds the variable age, if it is greater than or equals to 18, then it will print the statement that you are eligible to vote. So if the age of the person is greater than or equals to 18, then definitely the person is eligible to vote. Otherwise it will go to step number 4 and it will print the statement you are not eligible to vote. And step 5, that is the end of the algorithm, we are writing the keyword stop. In our sixth example, we are developing an algorithm to input three angles of a triangle, and we are checking whether the triangle is an acute angle triangle, obtuse angle triangle, or a right angle triangle. So step 1, beginning of the algorithm, so we are writing the keyword start. Step 2, we are accepting three angles of the triangle and storing in three different variables named A, B and C. Step 3, we're having a condition if the value of A is less than 90 degree as well as the value of B and C both are less than 90 degree. So we can say that the triangle is an acute angle triangle. So in step 3 we are writing if the value that is stored inside in the variable A is less than 19 and B is less than 19 and C is less than 90, then print acute angle triangle. So we have to meet all three conditions, therefore we have specified the keyword AND here cause we have to meet all three conditions altogether. If one of these conditions fails, suppose the value of A is less than 90, the value of B is also less than 90, but the value of C is equals to 90. So therefore it will never print the statement acute angle triangle. So in that case it will go in step 4, and in step 4 we have mentioned another condition and we have done this using the statement else if, means there exists another condition that we have to check. So if two or more than two conditions are there that we have to check, so we can do it with the help of the keyword if, then, else, if. Again the structure will be the same like if else, if then else. So if then else, if then else, in this way we will check the if there exists more than two conditions. So again in step 4 we are checking another condition that we have discussed, that suppose the value of C is equals to 90. So if the value of A is equals to 90 or B equals to 90 or the value of C is equals to 90, then obviously it will print a right angle triangle. So to a triangle will be treated as a right angle triangle or will be called a right angle triangle if the value of any angle is equals to 90. So in this case the value of C is equals to 90, so it will print the statement the triangle is a right angle triangle. Suppose none of these two conditions, step 3 and step 4, none of the conditions are met. So in that case it will go to step 5 and print the triangle is an obtuse angle triangle. So based on the conditions there are three branches and any one of them will get executed. Any one of them will get executed at a time. So after executing the correct statement in step 6, the algorithm will end. Now moving on to example 7, we have to develop an algorithm to display first 10 natural numbers. So this is an example of repetition construct cause this algorithm we are displaying the first 10 natural numbers. Obviously we will start from the value 1 and repetitively we will display the value 2, 3, 4, 5 up to the value 10. So this statement or a number of statement will execute it more than one times. So this kinds of algorithm is known as repetition construct. So here we started with step number 1, start. Step 2, we have initialized a variable n with the value 1. That variable n counts that the number of times the value will get displayed. So here n is treated as a counter that counts the value, and the value of n will be incremented by 1. Obviously it counts the value that how many times the variable n will get printed. So at step 2 we have initialized the variable n with 1. In step 3 we're checking a condition whether the value of n is greater than 10 or not. If the value of n is greater than 10, then we will move to step number 7. Otherwise, we will move to step 4. So as a is initialized with the value 1, so therefore 1, definitely 1 is not greater than 10. So obviously we will move to step number 4, and here we will print the value of n. So 1 will be printed. So after 4 we will go to step number 5. Step number 5, here we are incrementing the value of n by 1. So now at present the value of n becomes 2. And step number 6, it is written to go to step number 3. So again we are going to step number 3. Now this forms a loop, cause after moving to step number 3 again there exists a condition. So right now at present the value of n, which is 2, again it gets checked. The value of n is still less than 10. So again step 4 will be executed and it will print the value of n, which is 2, and again step 5 will be executed. So it will increment the value by 1. So now at present the value of n becomes 3, and again it will go to step number 3. So it's again check the value of n, which is 3, still get a less than 10. So again it will print the value of n, which is 3, and increments the value of n by 1. So value of n becomes 4, and again go to step 3. So you can see that this 3, 4, 5 and 6, we are these 4 steps are in a repetition and they are forming a loop. So inside the loop these statements are executed repeatedly. So definitely after executing this statement inside in a loop, it will print the value of n. So like 1, 2, 3 the printed, it will print the value 4, 5, 6, 7 up to 10 the value will get printed. And after printing the 10, when the value of n becomes 11, then definitely it will go to step number 3 again to check whether the condition still met or not. Then the value of n, which is 11 there, is greater than 10. So then it will go to step number 7, and step number 7 it is mentioned to the end of the algorithm. So it will end the process there. So this is how the repetition construct works. Thanks for watching the video, and if you like the video, hit the like button and share the video with others, and don't forget to subscribe the channel and hit the notification bell icon for regular updates.